Day 7. Mindset Makeover. Overcoming negative thoughts. These thought patterns can be a significant obstacle to personal growth, happiness, and success.
They often stem from self-doubt, fear, past experiences, or external influences. Here are some common negative thought patterns and tips for overcoming them.
1. All or nothing thinking. This pattern involves seeing things in extreme terms, with no middle ground. This is thinking if you're not perfect, you're a failure. Overcoming tip. Practice cognitive restructuring by challenging extreme thoughts with evidence. Remind yourself that nobody is perfect. Embrace progress over perfection. 2. Catastrophizing. Catastrophizing involves imagining the worst possible outcomes for a situation while minimizing or downplaying the positives. Overcoming tip. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And how likely is it? Often you'll find that your fears are exaggerated. Focus on realistic assessments and potential solutions. 3. Personalization. Personalization involves taking responsibility for events that are beyond your control, assuming you are to blame for everything. Overcoming tip. Recognize that you cannot control everything, and not everything is your fault. Practice self-compassion and remind yourself that you're human, and making mistakes or facing challenges is part of life. 4. Overgeneralization. This pattern involves drawing broad conclusions from a single negative event. For instance, believing that one failure means you'll fail at everything. Overcoming tip. Challenge your assumptions by collecting evidence to support or refute your beliefs. Realize that one setback does not define your entire future. Learn from failures and setbacks, using them as stepping stones to success. 5. Mind reading and fortune telling. This pattern involves making assumptions about what others are thinking or predicting negative outcomes without evidence. Overcoming tip. Communicate openly with others instead of making assumptions. Challenge these thoughts by asking yourself if there's concrete evidence to support them. Often, our predictions are inaccurate. 6. Discounting positives. Discounting positives involves minimizing or dismissing your own accomplishments, talents, or positive feedback from others. Overcoming tip. Practice gratitude and self-appreciation. Keep a journal of your achievements and compliments to counteract negative self-talk. Accept compliments graciously instead of brushing them off. 7. Should statements. Should statements involve placing unrealistic expectations and rigid rules on yourself and others, leading to feelings of guilt and inadequacy. Overcoming tip. Replace should with could or choose to. Focus on your values and priorities and set realistic, flexible goals. Be kinder to yourself and recognize that you have choices. 8. Labeling and name-calling. This involves using derogatory labels or negative self-talk, like calling yourself a loser or failure. Overcoming tip. Reframe negative labels with more objective language. Acknowledge that your actions or behaviors don't define your entire identity. 9. Emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning occurs when you believe that your feelings accurately reflect reality, such as thinking, I feel like a failure, so I must be one. Overcoming tip. Recognize that feelings are not always rational or accurate indicators of reality. Challenge negative thoughts by seeking evidence and considering alternative perspectives. 10. Comparison trap. Constantly comparing yourself to others, especially on social media, can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Overcoming tip. Limit exposure to social media and practice self-compassion. Remember that people typically present a curated version of their lives online, and everyone has their own unique journey. Incorporating these tips into your daily life can help you identify and overcome common negative thought patterns. Developing a positive and resilient mindset takes time and practice, but it can lead to greater happiness, self-confidence, and personal growth. Remember that overcoming negative thought patterns is a journey, and with practice and persistence, you can develop a more positive and resilient mindset.